Hello there. Welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 6. So today we're going to start getting into the Revolutionary War. We spent the rest of this week talking about the steps leading up to it. And today we're going to talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses of both the British and the colonists during this war. We're not going to get into like individual battles. We'll talk more about turning points and significant things later. This is just really kind of setting the stage for like what did the British have in their favor and what did the colonists have in their favor. So our agenda for today, what you're going to be doing today is completing the interactive notebook page that as we go through the notes. And then after that, you have a very, very short ed puzzle to be working on, and then some options of things to do once you finish that ed puzzle. So no reason for you to have extra homework. In fact, you should have extra time to get stuff that you have missing if you have anything missing in. If you don't have anything missing, then you've got some time to work on your extra credits. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. In your interactive notebook, you're going to want to come to this page right here on strengths and weaknesses. So you've got the boxes here for the British strengths and British weaknesses, colonist strengths and colonist weaknesses. So you're going to be filling that out. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So again, I told you I'm all about the Hamilton references right now, y'all. So again, if you know, then you know what this is referencing. But let's go ahead and talk about how awesome things were for the British, which puts the colonists at a bit of a disadvantage. So we're going to start off about talking about the strengths of the British. Number one, they have a record of being the most powerful country and a record of being unbeatable. So who in their right mind would have ever thought that these ragtag militia farmers in the colonies would actually be able to defeat the British Army and Navy? So that is a big record that they have to go off of. Number two, their military is very well equipped, lots of supplies. They are very well trained. They fight like gentlemen. They know exactly how to fight and they know how to win wars. Number three, they have a lot of money to pay for the ability to fight this war, specifically to pay for kind of like mercenary soldiers as well. You got to remember, and we're going to talk about this in a weakness in just a second, a lot of people in England don't really care what's going to happen. So the fact they've got to essentially be able to really pay some soldiers well to get them to want to join the fight and be a part of this. And they've got the money to do that. And then number four, they have an incredible Navy. So on top of having a well-trained army, they also have a very large and successful Navy. So let's talk about what they don't have though. So on the downside, the British are fighting this war not on their own soil, but far from home. As I said a minute ago, there's a lot of people from England that are like, why am I fighting for this? Why do I care about these colonists and about their whining that they're doing over in England? Why do I need to go and fight for England because of this? Like those colonists are so far away and so removed that, you know, why would they care? So they don't have a cause to fight for. They don't have something that their soldiers are really passionate about when it comes to trying to win. Number three, they may have a lot of supplies, but those supplies are across the ocean. So they are very, very far away. So they've got to bring stuff with them. But if they need more supplies, they got to go all the way across back over to England to be able to get them. And then number four, they have a lack of knowledge about America and about the terrain and the geography, which is obviously going to be a big advantage for the colonists. So let's go ahead and switch gears and go down there. Let's talk about the strengths that the colonists have. Number one, they've got home field advantage. Like I just said, they know the terrain of the land. They know the geography. They know the weather and the climate, and they're going to be able to use that knowledge to their advantage. Number two, their supplies are obviously close to home, and it is a strength for them that the British are very far from home, that their supplies are far away, and that they don't know the land like we just talked about. Number three, they have a cause to fight for. They're fighting for their freedom and independence and being able to become their own country that they are passionate about doing. Number four, they knew that Britain did not want to pay for this war. They may know that Britain has a lot of money to be able to afford it, but they know that England doesn't want to pay for it. Wars cost a lot of money, like we talked about when we were discussing the French and Indian War. So this is just going to be more money that they have to put towards the war. And they love the fact that the British are going to have to spend so much money to try to put down what they think is just going to be a little rebellion of ragtag farmers. And number five in our back pocket is that we successfully create an alliance with France. And this alliance ends up being huge and becomes basically the reason why we are able to win the war, because the French come and they aid us. So that's why I got just another little Hamilton reference for you here, because I just could not help myself. So it says, everyone give it up for America's favorite fighting Frenchman, Lafayette. So Lafayette is a French leader who comes over, and leader of the military, and comes over and helps the United States to be able to win this war and backs us up. Let's move on to what the colonists didn't have in their favor, though, because there are definitely going to be some weaknesses that they have to overcome. Number one, they don't have money like the British. So they don't have the money needed for all the supplies, for blankets for soldiers, for shoes for soldiers. Like, these things cost money, and they don't have a whole lot of it to be able to pay for these things. Number two, not everybody in the colonists want this war to happen. Not everybody is considered to be on the patriot side. You have a lot of loyalists who want to remain loyal to the king, especially people who rely on their money that they make from trading with England. So they're really worried that their livelihood is going to go away. Everybody thinks that every single soldier was going, or every single American in the colonies was all about getting this independence, but there was a lot of people that were not on board with this. Number three, a weakness is that the Native American tribes, for the most part, have joined the side of the British. They were trying to be pretty smart here. Remember, they joined the side of the French during the French and Indian War, and then the French lose, and as a result, the Native Americans lose. So they're like, there's no way these colonists, who are over here on our land, by the way, who we don't really like anyway, but there's no way that they're going to beat the British. So they join what they consider will be the actual like winning side. Although unfortunately for them, they choose the wrong side again. Number four is disease. So smallpox starts running rampant throughout a lot of the troops, and that causes some really, really big problems when they're fighting the war. You'll learn more about that next week. And then a lack of training. They don't have this very well-equipped, well-trained military like England has. Theirs is, theirs is essentially like I said, a ragtag militia of individuals that are just kind of thrown together and doing their best to be able to fight. Obviously, that in the end, the colonists win and we gain our independence, but we'll talk more about the turning points and how that actually happens next week. So today was just about establishing those strengths and weaknesses for both sides. So now what you're going to do is you are going to complete an ed puzzle. As I said, it is a very, very short ed puzzle. Let me pop back here. And when I say short, I mean, I don't even remember. It's like a teeny tiny little video. As always, if you need to retake it because you want to get a better grade on it, then just let me know. But if I click right here, we'll see, 3.5 minutes long. That's it. I think you can handle that. So if you want it reset so you can get 100 on it, if you don't get 100 the first time, just shoot me a message and I'll be happy to reset it for you. After you get done with the ed puzzle, you are then going to spend the rest of the period doing one of these three options. Number one, work on any missing work that you might have. I have a lot of people that still have not turned in the Unit 1 interactive notebook still. That is killing your grade because it's a quiz grade. Just make sure that you're getting that stuff done. Number two, complete the Unit 1 test corrections if you want to, so you can bring up that test grade. I will still accept those test corrections. And number three, if you have everything done and everything caught up, use this time to work on those extra credit questions in your interactive notebook so you can get that 10% boost on your next test from this unit. So that brings me to the end. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. Let me know if you need anything at all, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.